Hi, everyone. Good morning. I woke up this morning and I just wanted to do my podcast. Usually I write everything out and, I kind of go through things, or I've been uploading my live stream, which happens on Thursday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific. And this week it's like 2 hours long. So if you would like to watch the live stream, let me tell you, Rick turned the tables on me and interviewed me. And if you want to see me squirm and see me be really uncomfortable, check out the live stream. You can check it out on YouTube. You can check it out on LinkedIn. You can check it out on Facebook. Just go to allaboutthejoy.com and you can see all the links there to check it out. Hopefully you'll meet with us on Thursday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific and join in the chat. And we have an upcoming guest that I'm really excited about. So yeah, hopefully we'll see you there. Check out the live stream. It was a lot of fun, although I was very uncomfortable. So there's that. I want to say again, I can't say it enough. I'm really grateful and thankful to the people who are supporting us and doing simple things like just adding our page on LinkedIn. I can't live stream directly to All About the Joy on LinkedIn because we don't have enough people following us. So the live stream is happening on my page. So if you could add us, that would just really help. And for those of you who are already doing that as we're at the beginning process of this, y'all know how grateful I am. I'm trying to email everyone and just say thank you, thank you, thank you. It means a lot to me. I care so much about people who are there at the beginning, right? People who take the chance on you at the beginning. Don't come after me when, I'm rocking it big and large, okay? Because I remember. But I really wanted to talk about personal responsibility today. I'm starting to realize that we're getting to this place where we're just not really understanding how much we keep trying to blame other people, other things for our own faults, weaknesses, mistakes, whatever it is. So 3 times this week, I had 3 different examples, and I was like, okay, I have to talk about this because I think it's so important. So one of the things that happened this week, I was working with one of the people that work with one of my clients, and they were having a tough time with the computer. They were having such a tough time with Google Docs, and they were getting really frustrated. And they turned around and they were like, see, this is why I hate Google Docs. It doesn't do A, B, C, and D, and da, 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 da. And actually, the truth is, it had nothing to do with Google Docs, right? This person just isn't familiar with Google Docs. It was kind of the same thing. Like, instead of being like, I haven't learned what I have to learn about this, it's this idea that there's something wrong with the program. So a lot of people do this with computers as well, right? Especially older folk are like, see, I knew this cell phone wouldn't work. I knew this computer wouldn't work. And it's like, no, it's not the computer's fault. Computers and social media and technology are great tools, but they actually, I know people are freaking out about AI, but they are not in charge. Like, they don't have minds of their own where they are doing things to trick us. And this is why it's so interesting, because it happened again. I think this was on Tuesday afternoon. I was at one of my clients' homes and I walked into the living room. Let's just say it's the living room. And it's not the living room, but there's so many rooms that don't matter. But I walked into the living room and somebody was working on this cabinet thing and the whole thing just fell down and broke apart or whatever. And they were like, see, this is why I hate this cheap stuff over at IKEA, going on and on about that the problem was the shelving at IKEA or whatever this thing was. Now, I'm not here to promote or diss IKEA. I know big time designers who use IKEA as placeholders or as parts of things. So this isn't about IKEA's quality of anything. God knows, although I don't buy IKEA, I am a big fan of Target. So here's my thing. The problem wasn't the shelving. The problem was you didn't follow the directions, so it wasn't stable and it fell, right? It's just a shelf. Like, it's not a big deal. But it was the kind of anger of putting it on this, piece of structure that was fascinating to me. And then I noticed it again the other day on a personal basis, people who get frustrated with something happening in their own relationships and in their lives, lashing out at other people, right? We've all seen this, especially like if you're driving and, somebody makes one small infraction and then the driver freaks out and you can tell like, okay, dude, you're having a bad day. Like it's not that big of a deal, right? Road rage tends to be people who are angry about something else and then take it out on one of the smallest or littlest things of somebody changing a lane without a directional, although that does annoy me. So please stop doing that. Use your directionals, please. All cars come with them. But my point is this person is having some issues in a personal relationship. And instead of dealing with their own issues regarding that relationship, they're taking it out on other people. And I started thinking about we all, in some way, shape, or form, especially nowadays in this social construct that we're in, we're always trying to blame something else for what's going on in our lives. And instead of trying to be more self reflective of who we are and maybe we're the common denominator in our lives. So if something is continuously going wrong or bad, it's probably something we are doing ourselves. And as much as I love computers and I love technology, if you put junk in, you're going to get junk out. If you don't know how to use a program, then take the time to sit and do a Google search or do a Bing search or do a whatever search and learn how to do it. It will save you so much time. I cannot tell you how many software programs I have learned in the past years because I know that if I just take the time, I will master it and I will be great at it. One of them is Audacity. I use this for podcasting. A lot of people use it, and I used it for voiceover. But I mean, I've learned how to use Audacity on my own, and I'm pretty good at it. And then there are other programs as well. I'm learning a new editing program right now as we speak because I want to level that up a bit, right? So stop blaming everything else or everyone else for things that you are in charge of. And here's the other thing about blaming others or blaming computers or software programs or other people. It doesn't matter. You're not going to be able to change the computer or IKEA or technology or other people. You cannot change other people. The only thing you can do is change yourself. So if you want to get better at making things with IKEA or furniture or whatever, then do that. Read the directions, do it correctly, or hire somebody else to do it, right? Or ask somebody else to do it. If you want to get better at using software programs, sit down for an hour or 2 hours and just learn. There is nothing you can't learn nowadays on YouTube or just by Googling. Now, I'm not saying it's always all accurate information, but you get my point. If you want to learn a software program, you can usually get a free demo and they have their own instructions on how to use that software program. So that's kind of what I'm talking about is if you start thinking about what you can change in the world, the only thing you can change is you. You cannot change other people. This is why I tell people who look at, I have clients that I can't stand. I say this knowing that some of them listen to my podcast and one of them now is following my live stream, which is hilarious. And I'm grateful. But here's the thing. I choose to continue working for these people. So I have to figure out a way to work around their ridiculousness, right? I have to figure out a way to either deal with that situation in my own space, in my own heart, because I want the paycheck. I want the paycheck so that I can keep doing the things I love to do, right? So if that's the case, I can waste my time trying to change that person, or I can figure out a way to work around them until something better comes along or until my life changes that I don't need that job anymore, Responsibility is me taking ownership of the things that I actually can change, not trying to blame other people for things that are my fault, you know? And when it comes to relationships, I am telling you right now, the toxicity that you bring to the table because you can't deal with your own crap is incredible. People do not realize this. When you are angry, when you are so pissed off, you cannot see anything in front of you other than all that anger and all that toxicity. And for me, I don't want that in my life. Let me explain all about the joy. My entire life has always been about seeing the good things. No matter what was happening, try to see the positive, try to see the light, try to see the silver lining in every situation. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying that it has always been the way like it's not like I was 8 years old and like, I need to see the light. That's not what I'm saying. But when I think about my life and I go back to when I was a kid and I think about why I have always been able to get through whatever situation I was in, it is simply because I have always tried to find what I call hope, joy, light, possibility, no matter the cave I'm in, no matter the circumstance I'm in, no matter how dire I feel things were being and when I was younger, it was pretty bad. And I remember thinking like if I can just stay positive, if I can find just a little bit of joy, right? And that's how I have always looked at my life. How can I see positivity in the midst of anger, in the midst of a situation that feels overwhelming and terrible? So people like to lash out because they don't like to deal with what they need to deal with. And I can easily shut people out because that's how I do it, right? If I think there's a toxic situation, if I think there is something happening that is really painful and bad, or somebody's being cruel and horrible, the first thing I do is I take a breath. I let them know that this is not okay. And then the minute they show me that they're just not in the right space, in the right head space, I shut it out because I need time to work through that, figure out what my responsibility is, if any. And in this situation, none of it is mine. I shut those people out because toxicity does not work for me. Toxicity and people being angry and pissed off and always screaming and yelling. I have a client right now whose mode is just screaming all the time. And I'm like, you know what? I've just shut that out. I can't take that on. I cannot. You can scream all you want. I am not taking that on. It's like I'm putting up this big, thick kind of rubber thing, and you can scream and yell all you want. It is not getting in my heart. It is not getting in my soul. I'm gonna go over here and do my work to the best of my ability. And if you don't like it, you can fire me. You know what I mean? Like that's my whole mode. And so people have noticed the change, right? And people at work are like, you don't really want to be here. I'm like, what? Of course not. I mean, why would anyone want to be in a toxic environment except that you're getting a paycheck? You know what I mean? Like, and even still, it's like, what that person doesn't realize is that as they continuously keep showing who they are by being so vile and just unprofessional or whatever, as they keep showing me who they are, I am less and less interested in doing more than I need to, right? So my personal responsibility in that is doing the best I can in that situation, changing the environment around me so that I can still stay in a positive space. I can't change that person. I can't make that person do anything I want them to do, but I can change the way in which I respond and the way in which I choose to live my life, no matter how they behave, no matter what they do, no matter what they say to me, you know? And then, of course, in my heart, I'm like, as soon as I can move through, I'm going to move through from that position as well. I just wanted to give a shout out to the idea of personal responsibility. I hope that this kind of makes sense. The next time you're frustrated with your purchase from whatever furniture store and you're building it and it doesn't work out, try to remember that it's just materials and maybe you did something wrong the next time you're in your car and maybe somebody cuts you off accidentally. Try to be a person who can be more compassionate and loving and be like, you know what? It's fine. They're probably having a bad day. And stop being so angry, right? Stop being like taking on all that toxicity. Stop blaming everybody for everything. Just be like, oh my God, I'm so glad I have such great reflexes. I didn't hit them. Try to see the positive in it, right? Try to see the joy in it. People get to have a bad day and make a mistake. And who you are in that moment matters more than anything else. The true tell of who you are and what your character is isn't when things are easy. It isn't when things are super brilliant and everything's going well. It's great to be a great person when things are easy, but who are you when things are tough? Who are you when people behave badly or make a mistake? Who are you when a cabinet falls and you've broken, your boss's stuffage? Who are you? Are you somebody who's continuously blaming the company of IKEA? I don't know. Or are you like, oh my God, it's my mistake. I'm sorry. Let me just fix this as quickly as possible. Who are you in the moments that are not easy? That's what I want to see. Now, look I can say all this because I have done the work that I need to do. I actually am the opposite. I tend to always blame myself first, and that's not a good thing either. I always am first looking at myself and seeing what I did wrong, and I will apologize for things that aren't my fault. So you want to have a balance. You want to be able to understand, yes, be self-reflective, but not everything is also your fault. So maybe we'll talk about that some other day, but I don't want people to think that this is an easy thing. This is something I've been doing my entire life. And I notice now, especially, that even in the smallest things, we don't take personal responsibility at all. And even in our politics, I'm not going to go there, but we don't take personal responsibility for the things that we do wrong. And I want us to start thinking about that. Because if we could all do that, if we could all start changing who we are and stop thinking we can change other people, my God, the world would be a much better place. So thank you, as always, for stopping by. I absolutely appreciate it. I hope that you will go and visit allaboutthejoy.com. You can find me at atjoy.com. Those are all my links to all my social media. Please reach out to me on my contact page. I would definitely appreciate it. And if you want to come visit, please come visit us on Thursday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific. And yeah, that's it. Until next time, have a great one. Bye. Thanks for stopping by All About the Joy. Be better and stay beautiful, folks. Have a sweet day.